Oh my god, guys, I finally watched the first Avengers movie for the first time. Let's talk about it. Right off the bat, I have a question for all you people out there who watch these videos that aren't from the United States. Do you guys care about Captain America? You know what I'm saying? Do people who live internationally outside of America care about Captain America? You know, there's not like Captain Switzerland. If there was a Captain Switzerland movie that came out, hell yeah, I would go see that. Captain Switzerland just sounds really fun. I don't know what it would be about, but I'd see that shit in a heartbeat. But anyways, the first Avengers was fine, I guess. I think the ship that is their headquarters is super dope because it can fly, it can go invisible. I really liked the dynamic of Captain America now being in like the modern day, and there's all these references he doesn't understand. Like there's this one line where they basically have to say he's like Stephen Hawking because Captain America doesn't understand the other references. Hey friends, it's Editor John. I just wanted to say that line didn't really make any sense. What I meant to say was that Steve Rogers didn't understand the line about Stephen Hawking because he missed all that time, and that's why the reference doesn't make any sense to him. Now, something I wrote down while watching this movie was that these movies never show the villain's vulnerable side. And let me just say that since seeing this movie, I have seen a few more, so I don't know if I fully agree with that anymore. But at the time, up to that point of seeing the Avengers and kind of nothing else after that, I did genuinely feel like you just really don't get that much depth with the villains oftentimes. And I think that one of the reasons so many people love The Dark Knight, literally one of the most iconic movies of all time, I would say, is because obviously a large part is the performance of the Joker, but it's not just the performance, it's also the characterization and the writing, and you actually feel like you develop some sort of understanding or connection with the villain, even though you don't root for them. So like I said, I don't know if I still agree with that, but it was an interesting note at the time. Also, near the end of the movie, the Hulk can suddenly control his anger, which was really confusing to me because earlier on the ship, he attacked Black Widow because he couldn't control his rage or whatever, and I just wanted to know what had changed between then and now. I don't know if it was just a convenience thing where they're just like, okay, now he figured it out because last time he didn't figure it out, so now this time he now learned how to do it. But I just wish we knew like what changed. Mentally, did something change? Did he learn how to adapt? Did he change something to where it would calm him down and he wouldn't freak out? I don't know. This is gonna sound really harsh, but I'm just being honest with you guys. That's what I do. I go into these movies with an open mind. I genuinely want to enjoy them. I want to love them. Like I said in my last video, hating a movie doesn't do anything good for anyone. So I never just want to hate a movie, right? But I literally wrote down, I felt nothing from this movie, doesn't connect with me. I care more about the characters and their personal lives. I know I'm going into a superhero movie. I can't expect this shit to be like a deep character study with like a character and his mom talking for an hour and a half. That's just not gonna happen. There's gonna be battles, there's gonna be flying shit explosions, but I genuinely did just feel nothing from this. I hope I get to a point where I just bawl my eyes out and like just feel deeply, but I don't know. I honestly just don't have that much that I can add to this movie. It's the fucking Avengers. There's 10 billion videos of diehard passionate fans talking about it in a lot better way than I can. A lot better way. What did I just say? My point is there's a lot of content creators out there that can give more insight and thoughtful analysis of the Avengers than I can, but something I want to say is just because something is revolutionary or never been done before, one, that doesn't mean it's good, and two, that doesn't mean everyone's going to enjoy it. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily the case with this movie. Just in general, as a concept, there just seems to be this fallacy. Is that the right word? Maybe. But there's this idea that I see people throwing around on social media all the time that like, oh, well, you know, this was revolutionary for the time, or, oh, well, this had never been done before. And in the case of the Avengers, like where all these different superheroes are all coming together to create this universe and fight together, like, yeah, that hadn't happened before. And so for people who are diehard fans of this and have been diehard fans of all these characters their whole life, they grew up on the comics, that's cool. Like, it's definitely gonna draw your emotions more than me, because I don't really give a shit about these heroes that much. But also, people are just so unwilling to accept when and if something revolutionary is just bad. I have not seen the new Justice League yet, the Zack Snyder one, but I do keep up with a bunch of, you know, movie reviewers, YouTubers, Reddit, forums and shit, and something I hear a lot of people saying about that movie too is just because it's better than the shitty version that came out before it doesn't make it good at all. Something can be better than shit, but it's still shit. You know what I'm saying? And let me clarify again. I'm not saying that this movie is trash. I'm just saying just because something does something for the first time doesn't mean it's good. The same way that something can be done a trillion times, but if that same thing is done again, but it's done well, it's still gonna work. That's why basic hero's journey structure is so common in film, because it works. Now, there are some experimental films here and there. Like, I've had this idea. I'm never going to act on this, so someone please take it from me and film it yourself one day and make millions of dollars off it. But I've had this idea of a film where it's like, it's the perspective of a tree, just some rando tree, and the whole movie is just segments of like conversations that happen of people standing under or next to that tree. So like the whole movie, like the 90-minute movie is composed of just a series of interactions and events and conversations that happened from the tree's perspective at a certain place in the world. Not a special place, just some random fucking tree. Pick any tree, probably a tree where there's actually interesting stuff happening near it, but it's just telling the story of the life of this tree and what this tree has like kind of witnessed in a way. I don't even know if you guys understand what I'm saying. Maybe there's some of you out there who can get it, but I personally would love that. I think that would be a really cool experimental film, totally different structure. It's not like a narrative film in the same way that other things are, where obviously you wouldn't be able to connect with a character, you wouldn't really understand their backstory, but that's, you know, it's art. You can do things different ways and they can work. But my point with all that is just because that is something different does not mean that it would be good at all. A whole movie from the perspective of a tree would probably suck to most people. So hopefully, I don't know if that's a good point to back up what I was just saying, but in my head it made sense, so I said it. But you know, this happens a lot where I have a stance or a take and then I try and defend it, and then sometimes I just talk myself out of my own opinion. I don't really know where I'm going with this. The Avengers was fine. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, people might want me to say, oh, what are your thoughts on Tony Stark in this movie? What are your thoughts on the Hulk in this movie? Like, they're all fine. You know, no one sucked it up. It didn't make me gag, but once again, very forgettable. Never gonna watch it again. And yeah, so there you go. I gave it a 7 out of 10 on TikTok. I'm gonna stick with that. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and don't hate me too much for not liking your favorite movie, be sure to drop a like and leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought of the Avengers. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Anyway, be sure to check out my podcast called Peaked in Middle School. If you guys enjoy me or my content, I'm sure you would like my podcast. It's co-hosted with me and my buddy Kyle. And you guys should subscribe to get me to 5,000. Maybe I'll already be at 5,000 when you see this, but if not, get me to 5,000. Tell your friends, and I'm gonna go watch Iron Man 3. Peace.